I'm here with Bevan Bird, and he's the soul connector from Soul to Soul Connections. And we're just chatting about our collaborative book, 365 Goodness Abounds. And Bevan, I'd just like to ask you, by opening up this interview, about about your chapter. Like, just tell me about your chapter and why did you write this story?
Okay. Oh yeah, perfect. Thank you for interviewing me. I'm the soul to soul connector. Well, first I'll just say, like, just so people know me a little bit, I help people collaborate, right? I help humanitarians collaborate to make their cause happen faster. And also I inspire people to free themselves, right? To take back their freedom and do what they love. Okay,
Mm.
so in Goodness Abounds, I wrote a story called Let's Help Each Other. And so the basic story here is that my dad so I'll try to tell it in chronological order. My dad did these kayaking safari tours through Mexico, running whitewater in kayaks. And this is tons of fun. And I got to experience it too. And then later he got hepatitis, which shut this down because he had no energy. And so then he's back in Vancouver in Canada, and there's some noise going by. I'm now in Mexico, right? And now I'm living the adventure where I go to Mexico for 6 months in the winter, which is great. It's because of the weather, right? I love it here for the warmth. So that's someone driving by with their advertising. So okay, so he was back in Canada, and he was sick, right, and didn't really have any prospects, and not much money either. So it wasn't looking great. But a friend of his said that he could stay in their house. Like they let him come inside. They helped him, right?
Mm.
And they had this. I think their boy was 2 years old, right? Then they realized he could help them too. Like he could take care of the kid and help them. And then and see, both parents work, right? And the mother does lawyer work. And by him taking care of the kid, it gives her more time, and she can do both. So that makes it less stressful for her. And they were about to have a second baby. And so then they moved to another house, and it was closer to the beach. And so he gets to live in this really nice place and has this loving family. And he's part of the family, right? So that was the goodness that I witnessed, right? This is the goodness
Mm.
that he received. And then, and there's more. And over time, like through this work, like doing more and more things to help the family, he got more and more stressed out, right? He was taking the stress away from the mother. And eventually he's helped raise the kids, and they don't really need him anymore. But he's saved up money because they're paying him, and he's got the room and board, food, right? And he's got a pension, little Canada pension, right? So it was adding up, and he was saving it. So then he got to move out of the city because he doesn't really believe in society so much, but more like the power of the individual.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and he loves to be in nature. So he did that. He moved to the Similkameen. Like there's a river called the Similkameen, which he likes to kayak in BC in Canada. And he moved there and set up his homestead on the bank of this river. And it's beautiful. I've spent a lot of time there. So I'd say pretty much almost 2 years. I've probably been there about 2 years in total of time.
Yeah. Nice.
And it's great to be there. And there's something magical about like sleeping in a hammock under the stars, surrounded by fir trees and boulders and things, just
Mm.
nature.
I can feel that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Magical.
Hmm. So he got to do that and move out there. And then, and I should probably say too, how did he meet those people, that couple, right? Well, it was when he was kayaking that same river many years before. And this kayak is coming down a rapid, like upside down. So you don't know who it is. But anyway, that was the lady, right? That's how he met her. He got close and like rolled the boat up. Like he moved it, rolled it. So then she doesn't have to like bail out and swim and then get all the water out of the boat. It's a big hassle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he just rolled it up, and that's how they met and became friends. So then you can see he helped
Oh.
her, they helped him, he helped them. And then he moved out there. And then later, when I did my first entrepreneurial venture, 2010, so starting in June 2010, by about March 2011, I had $22,000 of debt, and like I got evicted, and so then I could be homeless or I could go live with my family, right? Because I was living by myself. He let me live with him and provided for me. I felt unconditionally loved. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, it
Very
was like a big
inspiring.
shift. Yeah. So you can see all this like helping each other led to some great things, because then I got to be with him. So it was like, it's like a blessing, right? The thing of getting evicted was actually a blessing, because then I got to be with my dad. Because when I was young, see, he was 50 when I was born. And we couldn't go into all this in the story because there isn't space. So that's why interviews are
Definitely.
cool, because you get
Yeah.
to go into it deeper. Yeah.
Which
So
is good.
yeah, he was 50 when I was born, and because he does all that extreme kayaking and adventures, and he was away in the winter when I was with my mom in Canada, uh, like going to school, right? So that didn't happen at the very beginning, like kindergarten. I think I only went to either 3 weeks or 6 weeks, maybe 6 weeks. So that was great because I got to go for the winter in Mexico. I
Yeah.
was actually in school in Canada, and I missed him through the winter, right? So then I at a point was worried like that my dad he might die before I really get to know him, and so that's why it was such a blessing, because I got to live with him. And I was there for like a year and a half, starting in 2011.
Oh, beautiful.
Mhm.
Sometimes they say that a lot of things happen to us that we don't, when we're in the moment, these bad things happen to us, but it actually is blessing in disguises. Like
Yeah,
you just go through these little hiccups in your life and they actually put you back on track, or
yeah.
they bring more blessings and miracles into your
It
life. So
happened. It happened
very
again.
inspired.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I guess I'll keep telling the story, but also
Yeah.
that did happen again. So then I'm staying with him, right? And I get back on my feet. So I was in quite a bit of debt. It was between 20 and $30,000 Canadian. And then eventually I stopped feeling bad about it. And that was a kind of a turning point. There's also a great turning point where someone gave me a guided meditation and shifted like
Yeah.
my vibration about it, because he like got me to see a future, like see a compelling vision that I didn't know that it's important to do that. Right. And so he suggested visions for me to see, and like, held that space that time. And that stuff shifted after that. I did a whole bunch of things and combined them together into like one thing, which I focused on, and made it happen, and made $100,000 in 1 year.
Oh wow! In 1 year, so
Yeah,
you just follow that inspire. You followed your inspiration, which is so important. You followed that vision that you had and that dream.
yeah, and I used like proven things, which I combined together. Like for example, the book $100 the $100 Startup by Chris Guillebeau, who's a world traveler. Hello.
Okay, and I'm sure that along the way you've had many, many mentors and teachers that you've modeled
Oh yeah,
or looked after or taken on board their methods. Is
yeah.
there anyone that stands out that you really, really is a standout mentor that could inspire others?
Hmm. There was quite a lot of them.
Yeah,
Um, I'll,
I'm
I'll
sure.
just point to I'll just point to two of them right now. Sean Mize of infobusinessuniversity.com, the author of Anyone Can Coach, and also,
Oh yes, yeah.
you know,
That yes, definitely.
oh great,
He's got his own book, and I recommend that as well for anyone starting out in coaching
yeah,
or even just wanting to read it. Yeah, definitely.
yeah, and
Yeah.
also uh, someone else. I forgot. I was going to say the names together. Anyway, but with Sean Mize, like that helped me to start an online business, because you have to know your purpose, right? And that really spoke to me. He said,
The
until you
why.
know your
Yep.
purpose, yeah, you're not, because that's why, yeah. Oh, well, you just remind me of the second one. And I guess that connects with what I do, right? It's like connecting people with purpose, right? Free yourself,
Yes.
do what you love, it's your purpose. It's joy. Do what you love, right? Do what lights you up. Relax and
Def-
enjoy your life and really enjoy it.
Definitely. And as you're telling me the story, I just really love how your whole face and demeanor, you lit up, and I could see that this is your passion. And so collaborating in this book that we're in together, how has it brought you to a lot more opportunities, a lot more connections with other authors? Tell me about your experience with this collaboration.
Oh yeah. Well, it's only just started, right? Because before that, I didn't really connect with other co-authors. I just wrote my part. But then with the book launch, I got involved in collaborating with others, and I've interviewed seven. I've interviewed seven co-authors of this book now, including
Oh,
today.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, nice. I personally find that group very nurturing, very supportive, and there's so many individuals with so many gifts and talents, and it's not just entrepreneurs, it's just everyday people. So our co-author group is
Just
making a
people.
massive impact together, and then we're also selling the books and impacting on a bigger scale. So what would you consider as your gift to the world? How your gifts, your talents, abilities, what's your maybe top three,
Oh,
or
okay.
how do you see yourself as the gift to the world?
Oh yeah. Thanks for asking for top three. Well, for people to free themselves. I
Yeah,
care about freedom, so I help people take back their freedom and do what they love. So
beautiful. I
it's
really love that
alignment
message.
with yourself, alignment with yourself or your soul. Another one is like going in nature and grounding yourself, right? And becoming more creative and intelligent and
Yeah.
resourceful. Um, and another one is yeah, talking with people, right? Connecting. It's funny that I didn't mention that one because I do a ton of connecting with people. So I can definitely teach you to connect with people or talk with them and collaborate with people.
It's definitely important, the connections and the networking, just to be authentically us and connect with others and help each other out, because that's what it's all about, right? Just helping us, as you just stated, connecting, aligning with yourself and sorry.
That's okay. And find other people
and
that also believe as you believe, and you can
And
collaborate with them.
yeah, walking along with them and just growing together and learning from each other. So definitely. Um,
Oh, wait a sec. Well, that's what we've done. That's what we're doing here. And so
correct.
from your earlier question, when you asked about the mentors, there has been many. I made a list before and there was like a whole bunch, 20 or 30. It was like, I learned this thing from this person and this
Oh,
from them.
beautiful.
Combined it and like integrate it into what I do from so many people over time. And it's refinements, little adjustments. But I would say Simon Sinek, author of the book, Start With Why.
I start with why.
Yeah.
And can I just suggest something with that big list that you've gathered? It could be a good offering to people as well. So you've learnt these from these people, and you can pass that on as a document, or there's a man that reads lots of books, and he gets out chunks of the book, and I don't know his name, but he shares his chunks with the world, and you could share your teachings.
Oh yeah, that's a
So
pretty
many.
good point. And you've also made me realize there's a lot of collaboration opportunities there. So if I look at the
Definitely.
list, and these are people that helped me along my path, which has helped me become more successful and become more of myself. So I free
Yes.
myself, I can be myself, do what I love, and make a great living doing things that are using my gifts. So
Yeah.
those people have helped me along that. Yeah, I can like interview them, for example, on this on my show on Soul to Soul Talks.
Definitely. Oh,
And
wow. How exciting does that feel? That would be
that's
beautiful.
awesome. Well, you just inspired me with that. Like
Oh,
that's a good list to go to and offer to interview those people. And then
yeah.
also joint ventures, right? Like you can cross promote, or I can introduce them to someone who can promote them, or
Yes.
introduce someone to them that they could promote, right? Because that's what I do. It's the collaboration.
And the more steps you take, the more opportunities are open and it unfolds naturally,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
way it's supposed to. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
So like you said, getting involved with the other co-authors, yeah, it was really smart. It's great to do that. Like, I already created Soul to Soul Talks, a show, but then, and that's to help people live their dreams and to be their true self. It creates a place where you can just be yourself, like you experienced earlier, right? Um,
Beautiful.
and so I'd already made the show, but then in there's a in promotion of the book Goodness Abounds, there was a blog tour, right? So it's like, do something, blog at this time, right? Like each person can pick a
Sure.
time, and that way we can like promote each other's blogs and stuff. And then there's lots of promotion of the book, right? That's just a great idea. And they gave different suggestions on what you could do, like interview someone or this. And so I just picked on
Yes.
that. I'm like, well, I've already started this show. I'll just combine the two. I'll interview some co-authors. So
Perfect.
I'll get more episodes under my belt, right? It'll happen faster, and I get to help these authors like reach more people, and it's part of the book tour. So it helps us get the Goodness Abounds out, right? So it's like, this is great. We can
Perfect.
do a lot at once. So I'm in. And so
That's awesome.
not only
That's
not only have I interviewed 7 people, 2 of them have interviewed me now. You and Gaia
perfect.
earlier today. So you can see I'm also opening myself to receiving. So thank you.
Definitely. You're welcome. And just to point out on that, that's a great tip in that, do something once and use it 100 times in different ways, because you're going to connect with this way that you do it this way one, like the interview, you're going to connect with a certain person, and then to turn it into a blog, you're going to connect with someone else on a different, you're going to connect with more people doing one thing. So that's a great
Right.
tip.
Right.
So tell me about this soul to soul connections. Just how did you get inspired to actually to bring this idea to life?
Okay. That's a long story. I mean,
Okay.
when
Yeah.
I was trying to differentiate myself from other people as a social media marketing strategist, because there's lots of them. There's probably 10,000 or like, I don't know, some huge number of people, because it was like this new faddish thing, like in online marketing or whatever. Social media, it's big, it's hot and new. Back in
Sure.
like 2010, very beginning, or like end of 2009, when I came online in the first place. And as a way to supplement my income, I looked around and then it was like, oh, social media and stuff, right? So then I
Right.
became that, but I also knew I wanted to inspire people, right? So anyway, I did get
Yeah.
into social media marketing, right? And I would help people like a coach or a consultant. Like that's me. I do that or that, right? And then and I teach. Uh, but then it was like, how do I differentiate myself from other people? So looking back, I would say read Start with Why earlier.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
read Simon
Start
Sinek,
with the
Start with
why.
Why, and apply it. And you do that right at the beginning, because why you do what you do will differentiate you. It's the why.
That will get you through that journey. That
Yeah,
because there'll
people.
be obstacles and blocks along the way, and you just have to have that vision.
Yeah. Because people think that how you do what you do and what you do will differentiate you, but it's actually why you do it and how you do it. And his
That's
why
right.
thing is like the reason. It's like your motivation. Why you're inspired to do what you do. It's for some big reason, and it's why it helps other people. Like the Wright brothers inventing the airplane. They envisioned how that would help people, right, to be able to travel and move around,
That's
and they
right.
were able
Yeah.
to invent it. So someone else with lots of money and connections and experts and everything, but he wanted fame. So because he wanted riches and fame, he didn't actually invent the airplane, even with all those amazing things, resources, right? But the Wright
Yes.
brothers didn't have resources, but they had the inner drive. And then they were able to inspire people because they told them why. So you have to start with why. That will inspire people and they'll support you. That's why his
Yes.
book is about like how great leaders inspire everybody to take action. You have to communicate your why first. Why you do what you do, and then how. See, now I'm talking about that second person, right? Second mentor that has made a big difference. So that was just recently. I read the book and started applying it, and it's big.
Okay.
But another, you actually asked about this too, because you were saying, how did I come up with this soul to soul connector? And actually, we're kind of still in that question. So that would be another mentor and another collaboration partner. So anyway, we'll get to that. So how you do what you do is the values and principles that you always stick by. So you have to know what they are, and then you have to actually stick by them. And then what you do is like kind of the result of what it is that people get, and it's a proof of your cause. So the why is the cause, how is values and principles, which is how you do it, and then what is what happens.
So Bevan, with you're talking about values and principles. Do you have a set of personal values and business values, or do you combine them and just live it as such? And if so, what are your top values? Like, what's your top value motivator?
Well, I combine them, I guess. I guess it's all together.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that after, because I haven't answered your last question yet. So we're still in that. So I'm digging up a thing with the values in it. So basically, because you're saying, how did I come up with soul to soul connector? I guess
definitely, yeah.
Want to do soul to soul connection. So as I was doing that soul searching in autumn of 2014, see, I wanted to get a client. There was this person I met at an event, and I wanted to work with them. And then they said that I needed some homework. They gave me 3 things to do. It was like they needed to see my platform for one thing. And so to do that, you have to know who you are, or like what you're doing and why, kind of. You need to know some certain things. So I was working on like, how do I differentiate myself? And at that time, so a few years before, it would have been great to start with why. At that time, it would have also been great to read that book, right? But I didn't know it yet, or I didn't read it yet. And so I did other things, and with some soul searching, I realized I'm meant to be the connector of the leaders of the light tribes. You know, like light, like that's like people that are into enlightenment and people being their highest self, which is my vision for the world, is everyone being their highest self. So there's people that do that. They connect people with their soul, or you connect with your soul's purpose, right? Or you awaken to like, the abundance that you are, right? Or you awaken to the god or goddess, right? To divine self, because you have infinite power, right? But all that stuff. So empowerment, right? So those people that influence a lot of people, those are the ones that I'm supposed to connect together to help them collaborate and make big things happen. Yeah. So I realized that in the autumn of 2014, just through different things, right? Earlier that year in the spring, I did yoursacredgifts.com, discover your sacred gifts. I didn't create that. I went through that program to see which gifts I had. So that's one thing which helped me on purpose.
Yes. Yeah.
Another thing that helped me was after getting inspired by Sean Mize, when I started to go into his training and started to apply it with him, it's like I learning from internet marketers or people teaching marketing online. I didn't really connect with it most of the time, because if they're not coming from the right place, then I didn't want to listen to it, or I didn't want to act.
Yeah, and you can feel that. You can.
Yeah, I could feel that. So it's like he's coming from a good place. He cares, and like he wants to do things ethically, and like he's a godly man, right? So it's like this is good, and it actually made me feel good when I'm listening to him talking.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, I can act on it.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I did to find my purpose then was I was taking a ferry ride like across the water from a little island back to Vancouver on a work trip. And I just I was sitting on these comfy chairs in there, and just I went inside and saw the perfect world, right? So I imagined, what is the perfect world, or what is my perfect world, right? It must be my perfect world. And then when I see it, then I come out and write about it, and then I would go back in, see it or feel it more, and I could come back and write more details. They probably did this for 20 minutes or half hour, and this inspired my whole life, right? Because then I connected with what inspired me and what kind of world I wanted to create.
Yes, that's very important. Creating your own world around you as you would like to see it, and being an example so that others can see that and then create that for themselves as well. Yeah.
I'm really grateful you asked me that question. That's how
Yeah.
we did it. That's one of the things. And then in the fall, like then we can jump ahead, not 3 years, but almost 3 years. So in the summer of 2017, I
Yeah.
was at my dad's house, right, in the summer after I've been in Mexico for 5.5 months at the beginning of this year. I went there and then I've come back down here mid-October. So while I was there,
Okay.
I also became an international speaker at the $1 Million Strategic
Oh,
Alliance, the
wow.
first $1 Million Strategic Alliance Summit
Yep.
in Scottsdale, Arizona. So I got to speak and I talked about maximizing your profits or something with joint ventures, because that's what joint ventures do.
Yes. Yes.
I'm a broker, a certified joint venture broker. So that's a long path, right? I wanted to help people collaborate. I wanted to bring people together and also get paid for connecting them, right? But I didn't know how originally, and I didn't have the money to get the training, right? And then but I didn't let go of the vision of making it happen, right? And over years, eventually I did it. So I'd say like 2011, I found out about well, really in 2010 I did. But in 2011, I'd say I probably found out about brokering in 2011. And then by 2016, like 5 months in, I got certified as a joint venture broker by
Oh,
Sohail
beautiful.
Khan. He's one of the top 3 experts in the world on joint ventures. And so then in the summer of 2017, this summer, uh, I got to speak there, right? So I was starting to build more stuff. So because I was already certified and hadn't really launched the business yet, right? Now I'm at the summit that's all about it, and there's not that many people there and super focused. He's already filtered tons of people to get the ones that are actually there, right? And so then I could use my credibility and my association with other people like Sohail and his group, other brokers that he's certified. And so I did that, and this worked. And like 60% of the people who were there gave a response that they had someone to refer to me, or they wanted to do a deal with me, or
It's a
wanted to
great
work with me on
response.
means do a alliance deal. So, and I did so many deals there, and Tom Matson, the organizer, said I did more deals than anybody, even him, or like even the organizers, and I did deals with them too.
Because you're coming from their heart and they could feel that and they wanted to work with you.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
they
He
wanted
said on a master class, maybe it was last night, that Emerald Peaceful Green Forest did on how to be $1 million speaker. He said on there, I wasn't a great speaker, probably not by a long shot, but the reason that so many people wanted to do deals with me is because I connected with people.
that's it. If the connection's not there, if they don't resonate with you or see you as a normal person or see themselves in you, like see themselves, they can't connect. If you're up here and they're down here, there's no connection, there's misunderstanding. So yeah, that's definitely, you're coming from your heart and they were very resonant with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was how the business started to launch. Was I was like, okay, this is a great way to do it because I've won the ability to be at that conference without paying. Like I won, and so I'm there.
Oh, wow.
I can use everything I've been preparing and make the speech and do it right and connect with people and collaborate. So we
Yeah,
did that. It's
did
awesome.
that.
And then I came back
Okay.
and this summer I collaborated in 2 books, right? Your Shift Matters and Goodness Abounds. So Your Shift Matters, like you can see the co-authors here on the back because it's not
Beautiful.
many, it's 25, right? And we could write 2,500 words here. So
That's a decent so you
it's
can
longer.
express. Yeah, definitely.
It was still a challenge though, because when I first wrote the story for that, it was 5,000 words, so it's still double.
The editing process becomes a little bit hard because you get sad when you chuck out some of
Yeah.
the chunks that are
And you
very
don't want to cut
important.
them out because they're
So,
important. It was like that's important. It depends
so
what story you're telling, but yeah.
these interviews are awesome because you can elaborate on where the background of the story and expand it so it gets heard a bit more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So I still kind of want to share some more because it's like
Yeah. It's
okay.
you've got the
So
stage.
that book, in 2014, the beginning of 2015 was when I did my first co-authored book, which was The Rockstars of JVZoo.com. And that one,
Ah.
I don't know if it was really like launched. It was like they give it as a gift to everyone on jvzoo.com, which is a platform like where people can sell information and software and sell each other's stuff, right? Because you get commissions.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
It's a very fast growing affiliate network. So that was the first co-authored book. And that's a marketing one, right? So then this year I signed up for 2 of them that were in personal development or spiritual. And that's very exciting to me, because when I first started, I wanted to inspire people, right? And in 2010, I wrote a book called, and it's like an ebook. There's 175 pages. It's just rapidly and radically transform your life for the better. And it was like a true life story, and then how to change your life, right? And it's about like karma and law of attraction.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's also a very impactful title, that one there.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you that you've always had that vision. You've journeyed along and you've held that vision in place for yourself. For someone that has a vision, but they keep getting knocked down and just the vision is cloudy, have you got any advice for those people that they might have the vision, and it's not that clear, but they've got the vision and the journey is quite rough for them?
Okay. Well, if you talk to me, I can help you make your vision more clear. And if you go out in nature, like, so you can do some of the things I did to do that. I know I wrote it in this chapter. I wrote some stuff.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, like how I did that. I called it aimless to purposeful. So it's my story from going from not having purpose to having purpose.
Perfect.
I couldn't put it all in 2,500 words. The first book, the reason I brought it up was the JVZoo one was 1,500 words. And so this was great because it's 2,500. There's a lot more space. It also costs less to be in this one. So this was a really great deal. And also this, I should say this too. So this book made me an author, right? An Amazon #1 bestselling author in spiritualism. So that was great. It's a good thing along the path, because you get paid for your position in the marketplace. And that means like authority, like writing a book, authority, speaking about it, and also getting interviewed, right? So that's where you can see, as you do those things, you get out there more, and that builds that position. But you have to be clear on who you are, or your message.
Who are, your why. And also who you're connecting with as well. The audience and the people that you wish to connect with as well.
Totally. So what did I do? I became clear by asking myself questions, going for long walks, being alone in nature, trying lots of different things, and then seeing how much I enjoy them or how excited I am about them, right? And then continuing to pivot over time.
Sure.
And I'd say also it's vital to become intimate with the infinite. This is the first thing.
Wow.
Very important. Connect with your true self. Take a break from the everyday grind. Get into nature. Be in your element, like for me, which is water. Once you're enjoying yourself in a peaceful state, start exploring your passions. Like, ask yourself, what am I passionate about, right? And then if you have a voice recorder or a smartphone with voice memos or something, you can record, or you can write some things down. Like, I wouldn't bring something that is going to distract you, but something so that you can write things down or record with. And I've done that. Like, I was walking around Stanley Park and I dug into my passions. Also, I was inspired by Sean Mize on one of his coaching calls.
Perfect.
And it was great.
I appreciate that tip of actually recording as you walk around and you're in that zone, because I have a habit of writing things down and getting inspired and writing it all down, and you don't always have pen and paper. So definitely to record that as you're in the moment.
Yeah.
And it's flowing out and it's right there. You've got a record of it and you can go through it again later on. Definitely.
I do it more and more. I'm always recording myself now, except now also very recently, I'm like really connecting with nature and leaving the devices at home. That's another higher level.
Yes, definitely.
But also I do lots of nature walks, right? And I would have the devices with me, and that's to record lots of audio, but then also some video too.
Sure.
Mhm. There is
And
one more part though in that paragraph, right? This stuff about being clear. So like, what do you want to improve in the world or in people's lives?
I
Like
love that.
something that you're passionate about that you could make a difference.
Yeah, perfect. And that's how you hold your vision as well then.
How
Yeah,
to hold it. Oh, that was to get clear on your vision.
to get clear on your
Yeah,
vision.
to
Yeah,
hold it.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I've taught about
very
this. I do these
powerful.
vision trainings, like how to like stay focused to your vision. Well, you write it down and then you repeat it to yourself every day.
So that it goes in, sinks into your subconscious, and it actually becomes you, not just the mind, but it becomes your whole purpose for being and doing in the world. Yeah.
It's how I shifted my whole financial reality and future. Like when I was in a bunch of debt, 20 to 30,000. It was nearing 30 by that point because it was the beginning of 2013. Um,
Sure.
but I wasn't letting the debt crush me anymore. I no longer cared about it. Right? Remember that was part of it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but when I decided on what I would do, right, then I wrote it out. I don't have that exact script here with me now, but I'll just read out like what I've got on this one here, which is my current one for now. But I used it then, and within 3 weeks, I got a job offer, and I
Oh,
don't think I
nice.
ever made more than $30,000 in a year for that, probably because I mostly worked in the summer and went to school in the winter for surveying.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
what I
Oh,
did
no.
before. I still do it through the computer. I don't do it in the field anymore. So I can do it
Sure.
anywhere, digital nomad. And I do
Yeah.
what I love more and more of the time, which is like coming
Beautiful.
all the time now. Um, so yeah, so that shifted it. I made 146,000 that year and paid off all the debt, and it felt amazing. And then I moved back to Vancouver, met a young woman, my girlfriend, and started to invest in myself and go to those go to those conferences and then get published, and all that stuff happened after that.
Oh, nice. It's good to hear inspiring stories like that.
Mhm.
And just just to, another question that's really
Okay.
might going to test you, or it's going to shake you up a little bit. So
Okay.
looking into next year, so 2018 is just around the corner. We're in November now, and we're looking at the new year, people making resolutions, looking at our past year, looking forward to the future. And if you had to pick one vibration for next year that will set the tone for you, what vibration would you like to bring into your life?
Oh yeah. Unconditional love.
Beautiful. And can you actually feel that through your body now? Can you take yourself there and embody that now?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's a great question. So in your
Yes,
last question, well, I'll radiate that energy, right? Okay, through this one. So
perfect.
this is from your
Perfect.
last question. So I used this and I got it from Napoleon Hill and Andrew Carnegie, and
Oh, I
I
love
told you
Napoleon Hill.
physical stories so that you can see I had a real thing change in my life very quickly, but this is one of the main things I did, right? So I use the statements, and then so 12 times a day, say it with feeling, then take action, beginning
12
where you now
times.
stand to give that which you said that you intend to give, right? So
Sure.
it's just getting a habit of focusing and going in one direction, one purpose. Like Andrew Carnegie said, you have to have a definite major purpose. And so
And
like
the number
taking
12, is that significant? Any
Oh,
number of
12 times?
time?
Well, that just
Yeah.
means like once every hour, right? So
Okay.
it's just basically
Sure.
creating a habit where you're doing it a bunch of times and you're taking action. So if you actually do it, then you'll take at least 12 actions a day, even if you're slacking off or doing other things. If you
Yeah.
always read it
Yeah.
and then at least took some action, you would take 12 a day. So you create a new habit and you'll be going in that direction. You have a certain vision, a purpose, and you take purposeful action that goes towards it every day. You're going to get there eventually, right?
Definitely. Like even just a baby step becomes bigger.
Yeah.
You're way ahead of other people that are not even taking one step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew Carnegie went from being a day laborer to like management and then like a titan or something, right? Titan of the steel industry. So to go from a day laborer up into management, this is what he did. because you have to change how you think. And we become what we think
Definitely.
about most of the time, believingly, as Harrison
And,
Klein says.
and
And
just on that point, sorry, it's okay.
yeah, go ahead.
And just on that point, even if we choose to go in one direction and become that person, you always have the opportunity to change as well. So we can start
Yeah.
again. Every day is a new day.
Oh yeah, and I edited it, right? So when I wrote it,
Definitely.
I then once I start saying it, and I'm like, oh, I like saying it differently, right? Then I'd edit
Yes.
it, and it would change, but then I keep still repeating it over and over.
Yeah.
So it morphed. Anyway, the one now is about a world where work is joy and comes from love, for that's what we're all made of, right?
That's
That's
correct.
what
Yeah.
this one's about now. So it goes like this. My major desire in life is a whole and balanced life, thriving in joy, love, and abundance with laughter in my soul. My definite major purpose is to create a world where work is joy and comes from love, for that is what we're all made of.
Oh,
I intend to help soul-centered entrepreneurs make the impact that they're destined to make by helping them connect and collaborate soul to soul. O divine providence, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom, with which to accept and make wiser use of the riches I received at birth in the form of the power to control and direct my mind to whatever ends I desire. See, we have the
that
ability to
feels
focus.
beautiful.
We always have choices, right? Like, what am I choosing? You can choose
That's
anything you want. And if you focus on something, that's what you're going to get. So this tool helps you because you write it down and you have a clear, definite purpose, but you also have constancy of purpose. You're continuously going in the same direction. And you
and
don't
also
think
you
negatively about it. You only think, I can do it. Like, I can do anything and I'm not afraid to fail. Failure is only if you give up, right? And anything is possible. If you think it's impossible, it makes it impossible for you, but not for other people.
if
So
you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't.
yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta think you can, yeah. And then
Yeah.
you can surround yourself with other people that can help you do it.
Yeah. And focus is very important because like there's a saying that you just keep focusing, keep going on your trail. And just at that moment that you really want to give up, it's that moment that you need to keep going because it's just right there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You can't
Yeah.
see it, but you just got to take have that blind faith and
Do
just
whatever it takes.
do whatever it takes. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I love the wisdom that you're sharing though, and
Thank
your
you.
script is
You're right.
beautiful. That's a
Thank you.
great
And
world.
sorry. And you have a really awesome one too. Remember how you wanted me to ask you, where are you going to be? Where do you see yourself in 6 months? And you told us that's when I interviewed you, I think. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
And that was actually, that just came out of my mouth. I do have a script as well, and I intend to write it daily, but I don't get to write it daily. I'm intending to do that.
Do you at
Do I
least read it though? Because if
I
you have
do
it
read
written
it.
down, you can read it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It
do
doesn't take
read it.
long. Writing it takes longer.
Writing it
I've
takes
noticed
so
that.
long.
Yeah.
So reading,
It's
yeah.
nice to write it out neatly, right? Like the first time it might be kind of scribbly. It depends,
Yeah.
right? But then it's nice to get it more and more clear and write it very intentionally and clearly. And then that's what you see and you look at it and it's like, it's very clear. And that's what you keep, that's that little book you carry around and you keep saying it and you memorize it because you've said it so many times and you don't even need the book anymore. You're able to keep running those thoughts and then take action and you just go in the right direction.
And my takeaway from you as well is to read it 12 times. I'm going to sit with it to see how many times I personally need, but to actually 12 times or so, not just once during the day, but over and over as you go about your day. That's a really beautiful tip for everyone.
Yeah, it could be every hour when the hour switches
hour.
over, because that's like 12 times a day. It's up to you. I haven't even been doing 12 times a day, but I did it as best as I could back then in the beginning of 2013, and it worked, right? 3 weeks, totally shifted.
So then on life scripts, because I definitely do life scripts myself, and I've just recently moved here, so I haven't implemented all my stuff. Do you have your own vision board in that case? Like, have you got your life script in a different mode?
No, I used to have vision boards. I've made at least 4. I don't have them here
Sure.
now I'm a nomad. I travel around. I do have a
Yeah, it's
dolphin,
easier
though,
just to
but
script.
I got this dolphin here in Chile.
Oh,
Like it's a wooden carving because I like
that's beautiful.
the logo I get made may actually have a dolphin in it, or two of them honoring each other, like Namaste. Light, there'll be
Oh,
light bearing, right,
nice.
with a light staff, like in the city,
Sure.
right? Because it's kind of funny. Because first there were going to be people, right? But then when I saw a dolphin thing, I'm like, we could do that. And that's playful and kind of funny.
Yeah, well, I was just going to ask you then, what does that dolphin represent to you? Like, what is that portraying for yourself personally?
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, freedom and
Yeah,
playfulness and wisdom, and also collaboration.
beautiful. Yeah, because dolphins are very friendly and
Yeah.
unconditional little creatures. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Is
So,
there something else? Like we were talking about oh no, it's pretty good. That's a very good interview. Thank you.
I've loved the direction that it's taken and all the
Hmm.
stories that have come out because that really can help a lot of people. And there's so many tips in this interview.
Oh,
So,
now I
for
remember it. Now, oh yeah. Well, it all depends, right? If you the longer that you go, the deeper it goes, right? Because you can ask more questions. Like,
sure.
for example, I was working on my story, right, of purpose. I ended up just calling it evolution of a path of purpose. So I was here in this room. I'd already done a full day of creating, probably doing walks in nature and creating. But then by the evening, I was like, I want to tell my story and like understand it better. Like, how did I get
Yes.
on this path of purpose? Like like
Yes.
like how I've answered your questions, but it's in much more detail. That's how I was able to answer it, right? If we prepare, we're able to do interviews or write books because we've thought it through and condensed it down, right? Like
Yeah,
this one,
that's right.
because that was actually preparation. What I'm telling you about here, the evolution of a path of purpose, definitely was preparation for this one because that's only
Yeah.
2,500 words, but I had 8.5 hours. So
Yes.
I tried to tell the story. It's in audio, and I was up all night and I told it, right?
Mm.
So that was doing whatever it takes, and it's because it mattered to me to tell the story.
That's
So
right.
yeah.
Yes.
So you did remind me. You asked me, what about this, right? Soul to soul connector, right? Or soul to soul
Yeah.
connection.org as well. Like, how did this happen? So yeah, that's Matthew Sikich, my friend, and one of the people who joined my Do What You Love group back in December 2016, in the first cohort of 10 people that joined it. And he's amazing, business and relationship communication mastery. The 5buyinghabits.com, worldwide dreambuilders.com, I believe. So with his 5 buying habits thing, he helped me do this. Right? Like, how do you communicate to the right people that you really want to work with, the people you love to work with, and it lights you up, and you're doing your purpose? How do you communicate with those people so that they understand what it is right away, right? And that the message doesn't turn them off, but it's like they get it right away and it inspires them or it resonates, right? So I'm pretty sure this one does. I've been getting great feedback from people saying they get it right away, and they were the right kind of people.
That's right. When you told me the soul to soul connector, I was just like straight away. I was like, that is a great. Um, you're identifying who you are and what you do straight away, and everyone can identify with that
That's
and
awesome.
get to the right people. So
Yeah,
that's an awesome,
yeah.
awesome way to get to
Mm.
people, the
Yeah.
right people that you
So
need.
like so in near the end of 2014, after getting the purpose thing, like Sean saying that, Sean Mize saying that, and then me going inside and then being able to create content as much as I wanted anytime without fear.
Yeah,
That's because I
yeah,
had my inner vision of the ideal world. So now I knew what I wanted to create. I
yeah.
created high vibrational connecting as one of the first info products. That's what I put because
Oh,
I won't go
beautiful.
into it. It's too complicated. I don't want to bother explaining it all. It does tie into that first book. So choosing to be in a collaborative book does kick you up another notch. Definitely. In that one, I will explain it just briefly, okay, because it makes more sense for the whole story. You could be an affiliate marketer or product creator, right, on jvzoo.com. So it's like, which one do I want to be? well, I think it's better to be a product creator because you're creating something of unique value. An affiliate marketer means you sell other people's products, right? And both are
Right.
fine. And there's a reason for both, right? And you need both in a way. But having a product means more and more people can promote it. More and more people can get it, and it has value. Like, for example, the Power Pause, right, by John Hartranft. If he didn't create that and help some people with it, and if he didn't go to seminars and meet other people like Yannick Silver, who would then encourage him to share it with more people, or to encourage him to do a joint venture launch, not just selling his product that's just pausing for a few minutes and connecting with your intuition, or your a good feeling, like feeling as if what you want to have happen has already happened.
Right.
Getting that little idea out. If he didn't do that, go to the seminars, meet those people, and have them encourage him, he wouldn't have done it. But he said, okay, because they kept encouraging. They wanted to promote his thing, and they did it. They helped him. They set up a joint venture launch, and so then it reached thousands of people. So many more people got that book and that idea, the Power Pause, and so now they could solve their own problems in their life because they get access to their own inner resourcefulness. So it's just a little idea, right? Because he'd written a lot already, but someone asked him, can you write a little book, like something small? And he came up with that.
Wow.
So a little idea can be a little book or a little product that can change lives, right? And that's the story about that. So see, I went to a conference, I met people, and then got invited to collaborate on the book, and it cost $1,000. That's okay. I knew it would take me up another level by doing it. Then I had to quickly make a product because it's either be an affiliate marketer or a product creator. So I chose a product, and I have to create something. And I want it to fit into who I am, or like what I want my business to be about. So I have to figure it out really quickly. So that's what I did in that fall of 2014.
And you had no obstacles to invest in that as well. You just got the inspiration. I'm going to invest in that. Go for it. Keep going. Do the next steps.
I did it on payments. It would have been better if I just did $1,000, because then probably my name would be on the front cover. But I did the payments, so it was 3 payments of 300 and something instead of 1,000. It's the same thing. It's just over payments over a few months. So then my name wasn't on the front cover. That's the only difference.
Okay. Yeah. But it's still leverage for you to get to the right people that need to hear your message and get out.
I don't know if it did that with that book, but it made me a published co-author, right? With a New York Times best-selling author, which is Joel Kahn. So like that. Which also,
that is part of your journey to know that you can do it, and gives you the fuel to do the next one.
It taught me how to write for a book, and there's the editing process, right? And there's also an editor, but just that thing of getting it done by a deadline, it forces you to get clear, and so it helped me go to another level. So anyway, the product I created for that was high vibrational connecting, because the whole point of the story is tell a story, which was success. In other words, how to be successful by connecting with other people with energy. I just called it success by connecting. But it means that you're aware of your energy when you connect with people. Because I noticed this in my social media days, right? That it's our energy more than just the words that really matters. Like nothing great was ever accomplished without enthusiasm. So that's the energy.
Yeah. I love the title of that, high vibrational connecting.
Oh, thank you.
And it's all about connecting for you. That's one of your major gifts. I can hear and feel from you that you're a connector. You're just connecting people all over the world, and you're doing a great service to everyone. Building the world around you and connecting others.
Yeah, Matthew Sikich, who gave me this, I've sent him 2 clients now, so he's thanking me like he did today. He's like Bevan connects me with really awesome people. So
beautiful.
So it's like connecting people like that, but mainly, more importantly, connecting people who can collaborate, because this is a great leverage point.
That's right. Like because we're all here to help and lift each other up, so it works receiving and giving both ways. And
that's why I wrote in Goodness Abounds, that's why I wrote the chapter called Let's Help Each Other, because I want to encourage collaboration. So this was a way now where it's a book focused on looking at the goodness in us and in the world and what people are doing. And so that's my message there, is like, let's collaborate, let's help each other. because
I
that's how you
love
solve all the problems. Yeah.
I love that. And I love how it's come back to 365 Goodness Abounds, because this book is is very special to the authors. Everyone that's contributed has had their own lives uplifted by being in the book and being in the group. And I'm also excited to see how this book impacts others.
Yeah, because it's
So
only that journey is just beginning.
that's only just begun.
It's already impacting our lives because now we're interviewing each other, meeting each other,
Yes.
and it's such a great community, like you mentioned. It's so awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mixture of seriousness of actually doing what we came here to do and being on purpose, inspiring others. But it's also that fun, joyful factor of okay, we can work and play together and combining it all.
Oh
And
yeah, so good.
yeah, and connecting
Jody and
everyone.
Dan like have nailed that. They're really good at
They're,
this.
they're beautiful at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say that Matthew, like giving me that soul to soul thing, it was the way that happened was there's this group, right? Do What You Love group. So sometimes he comes to those calls, right? And he's helped
Okay.
other clients on the call. So this is, see, when I first heard of the 5 buying habits, then I never really like went into it, even though I heard it multiple times, like from I think his girlfriend or his wife. I've heard it from her before I met him, because she introduced him to me years ago. So I met her first,
Sure.
right? And so I hadn't gone into it, and so it's interesting. But then he helped someone in my group, right? So she has this challenge: how do I reach my people, or how do I market? How do I start doing this thing in my neighborhood, right, in the community? And then he really helped her, and I was like, wow, this is so deep. He really knows how to market, how to communicate, and understands the markets and like different kinds of people. And he calls them 5 different buying habits. And there's people that are completely different. Like some people that are motivated by sex and power, and there's some people that want to totally radically change the system from outside of the system. Those are totally different people. So I'm one of those, the revolutionary. I may be an assured revolutionary hybrid. Assured means you want the best. Like you'll wear things that are unique. Like if the person has jewelry, it'll be like a unique, one of a kind thing, not what other people want or have.
Yes.
They have stuff that they don't want commonness or sameness, right? And they get the best, and it's all about the best. That's assured. So like Apple is an assured and revolutionary brand, and so is Virgin or Richard Branson. Mm-hmm. And transformers are the people that really care about sex and power. And there's no judgment. It's just that in the United States, the largest group is transformers, right? And there's different places. So New York is a transformer city, right? And there's different. So if you look all over the states in different like counties or cities or towns, they'll have completely different people with buying habits. He simplified it down into 5, right? And
I
so
love his research. That's really interesting to get into.
yeah. It's like the big companies know it, right? Like General Mills, for example, with cereal. So that's why they have all these different cereals, like at least 5, and that one is for each of those buying habits. And when you understand what the buying habits are, then you can identify by looking at the cereal box which kind of person buys each one. Generally, right? On the average, those are big groups of people. And same with vehicles and houses and any product. So it's really important to know. So big companies know it, and the advertising agencies, but 99% of small to medium-sized businesses don't know it. And so then they flounder in the dark, not realizing they might be using the wrong words. They might not even be marketing the right people that they should be, right?
My mind is just because I'm trying to think. I'm very from a holistic background and mystical, divine women. And I'm thinking that our buying habits are very different, and I might do a little experiment on my own to see how that would work.
Mm-hmm.
Just to take it.
Well, look at what kind of products you buy and what kind of, like, which brands they are.
And what motivates them to what are they attracted to more? And
why do you buy those ones over something else, a different option?
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, because
We could talk about
I'm
that
very
in the future. In
interested in
fact, he
that.
would love to
Yeah.
talk about that because that's his topic, right? So he owns it. It's the 5 buying habits. So he noticed the big companies were doing it. And when you see advertising on TV, although I don't look at it now,
Sure.
although sometimes I
Yeah.
might see it randomly, right? But we know it's out there. It's in those ads, they're doing it, right? They know exactly who they're talking to, and then they do it through the visuals, the sound and everything, and the messages. It's all like very tuned to specific people and what motivates them. So if you
I'm
see,
feeling really good with this topic as well, because I did marketing in university, and I've gone straight back to holistic and unplugged from marketing, really. So to bring me back to this, I'm very thankful that you've done that for me.
okay, it was transformational for me. Like, just to sum it
Yeah.
up, so that started to work because this actually works with people. And so
Yes.
everything about this was designed for revolutionary. Like, so he's
Yeah.
pick like the card that's like it's like recycled, right? It's the brown, like a cardboard thing. So
I
that's
like that.
also revolutionary, and it's good because it's better for the planet. So like,
Eco-sustainability.
yeah, and
So
I've got
all your values are coming out in that card. You've got the
that's super
sustainability,
important.
environmental issues. You've got
And I'm in nature, so like he suggested
yeah.
that, and I took that picture there at my dad's place with the fir tree behind me.
So
Right?
to break down just the business card, that's a big topic in itself. Like I can see that, but to break that down into how you've incorporated your vision and values and principles into your business card, that's just I applaud you on that. That's really I
Thank
can
you.
see it. I can see it with my eyes. I'm not sure other people could, but when you break it down, you're really hitting the mark everywhere. So
It's Matthew Sikich's work, right? So us collaborating, he said I was a
yes.
great student, right? But it's him, right? I didn't know about the 5 buying habits. So he taught me about it and then helped apply it to my business. That's what he does. There's a program, right? So it
Nice.
started out of the Do What You Love group, him helping other people in the group. And I was like, this is awesome. Like that he knows all this stuff. It's so powerful.
Yes.
And like they appreciated it. And so that's how he really got my attention, right? Is through that heart-centered giving, like generously just helping.
Yes.
So that's a tip. That's why I wanted to say that, because I want to encourage people to do that thing. And that's that unconditional love right there, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
So
right. That's
and that
exactly.
got my attention because I know he's coming from that place. So then I'm like, oh yeah, now we should play, right?
Definitely.
So on another Do What You Love call, so I'm supposed to be helping them, right? I'm like the mentor of that group. And then
Okay.
he helped me. He wanted to help me on that one. And I was there at my dad's place, and I'm walking around, like the trees are behind me and stuff. And I was like, it's pretty cool to show them that because I'm free and I can be anywhere. So like I had this little tripod here, and the iPhone is on there, right? Like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
So then I'm walking around. I can sit or walk around and do that. And then he said, "You're connecting people on a soul level." He's like, that's what you've done for me when you introduced me to other people in the Do What You Love group on those calls. So he told me that. So he said that. And notice how it's very similar to high vibrational connecting. It's just that people aren't looking for high vibrational connecting. Maybe I made up that name back then, right? And then I wanted to make it a household name too. But, the main thing there is a namaste attitude. It's like the light in me honors the light in you. So that's
Correct.
Everyone being their highest self. And this is a great way to connect and then collaborate.
Definitely.
So,
that's how the world is evolving, so that we do connect from that higher self state.
So I was there. Oh yeah. Well, that's awesome. Thank you for the confirmation. So then I was there in the clearing, in my dad's clearing, and we've got internet. So it's on the Wi-Fi, because we installed satellite internet this summer there, and it's nice and fast. It's great. So anyway, so he said, okay, soul connector, you're the soul connector, right? So I go on GoDaddy and write soul connector, right, .com, and it's like taken. So then I go to that to see what it is. So there's someone that connects people to their soul, right? Well, that's great. I can collaborate with those people. But that domain's already taken. So then I tell him that, right? And then he's like, so after a bit, we just came up with soul to soul connector, right? Because if that one says soul connector and is connecting people to their soul, and I'm connecting people with each other, then I'm connecting them soul to soul.
To
So
soul.
I came up with that. And there's actually later I found, so then I got into it. I bought the domain right away, soul2soulconnector.com. And then after a bit, I started layering on all the rest, soul2soultalks.com, because I like to talk to people. So I make a show, soul2soulseminars.com, which could be online or live events, right? And soul2soulnews.com. After a bit, I got that because I had started a newsletter, and then he said it should be the same name because I created Strategic Alliance News, right? And then he said, because that's about collaboration, right? To encourage collaboration. An earlier one, I was going to create a platform called collaborativeprofits.com, a podcast. It doesn't matter because now we've got Soul to Soul Talks, right? So now we're doing it.
And it can all go together.
Collaboration. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's soul connection and collaboration.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So he said it's got to be the same. So then I was like, okay, I'll change it. So I got soul2soulnews.com. So basically it came from that, and we just went ahead. Like I got the domain, and then I started making that site right away. I showed it to him, and then he's like, oh, that's cool. Like, I really like that. It's like, can you make?
Yeah, that one sounds good.
I want a site quickly too. And then I was like, well, he said he was going to give me his program, like take me through the 5 buying habits. Cause see, that hadn't happened yet, but he gave me my name, like moniker, or like, you know, a way to summarize me, right? Which is the Soul to Soul Connector. So because he said on that call, I'm going to put you through my program. I was like, wow, right? 'Cause without charging me. So then of course I also felt generous, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll make you a site, right? So then we just did that. We talked maybe over Zoom, right? And we're making the site together, and that was cool. And it's the 5buyinghabits.com.
And that's how the world's changing too. Sorry to stop you, Bevan, but
that's okay.
Like he's giving you a gift, and then you're giving it back. So there's no money exchange. There is energy exchange, and there's gifts exchange.
Yeah. It's like we bartered, or we just gave. He really just gave unconditionally, because he didn't do a barter. He gave to me, so then I wanted to give to him. Then I made that site. We did it together. Then like soon after that, basically once we made the site, then we're like, hey, we could do these for other people. And then now we have the only web development company, me and him, the only one that incorporates the knowledge of the 5 buying habits, which of course most people do. And so you get his expertise bundled in, because he and I together make your website that speaks to the right buying habit, which means you don't alienate people. You get the right targeting, right? And the language resonates.
Yeah.
So you get a higher conversion rate and all this stuff. It just helps make your business grow.
And everyone's doing what they love as well, because if you're not doing what you love, there's no point really. And you just, because if you're doing what you love, on some level, you need money to survive, but it's not about the money. This comes back to you're inspired to do this.
You love to do the thing. Like it might be your art. And my art is connecting people, or connecting with people. And then also on the back of that, I introduce them to other people. Because you'll notice now today we've got to know each other, but then you'll see in the future when I meet someone that I get inspired to connect with you, then I'll just introduce you. And then you're
and the other way as well. Because you've got lots of gifts as well that will help so many women that I know. So it's been a good connection for us.
Absolutely. Well, so I think you've probably interviewed me now. I've answered that question. It took a while, but you've got it. Matthew Sikich was another one of the mentors. Thank you.
Thank you, Bevan, for being interviewed and sharing all the inspiration, your story, and I'm sure that it will help so many people, especially and also showing people the future that we are building.
Oh yeah, an unconditional love future.
Unconditional love.
The highest self, doing what they love, and being valued and celebrated and loved and respected for being exactly who they are.
And where can people find you, Bevan?
At soul2soulconnector.com.
Beautiful. Thank you for joining me. I've had so much fun, and look forward to actually seeing that expansion and that journey just evolving from here for you.
Awesome. Look forward to sharing it with you and seeing your journey as well. Thanks.
Thank you. Blessings. Blessings. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, Bevan.
You're welcome.